The weekend's upon us as the push is underway for a second stimulus, with a procedural blockade actually in place next week to prevent the continuing resolution of the budget bill from passing unless there's a stimulus check sent out to millions of Americans. It's the incredible great news, which I detail first on LALATE mornings today, a way in which to block any operations of the federal government after next week to ostensibly shut it down, unless a stimulus check is sent out. But we also need PUA and UI. That's likely to happen. And we also need eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. We need that get done as well. And what will happen in the next 48 hours? I'll have those details in a special tape recording today of Holidays LALATE. But meantime, I'll be delivering what you've been asking for, finally, on this channel. An inside look to the LALATE Christmas tree. I'll show you its preparations, its buying, its bringing it on set, and its early decorations. It's not yet done. And so stay with me to the end of this recording, because I got the holiday spirit. I hope you do too. And I got the music as well. Couldn't leave out the music. This is a special recording, midday Saturday of Holidays LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Holidays LALATE, and I'm here, you're here, and the bacon was not left for me this morning, so I don't know if I'm going to show you my tree. I mean, that's sort of the deal we had. You know, you leave me some bacon, and I show you the Christmas tree. But, you know, in this recording, I will show you the early work in progress. It is not yet finished. Christmas tree from the LALATE set. So thank you for joining me this holiday season. This is Holidays LALATE, our midday lighthearted show that does a little bit of update about your second stimulus check and state stimulus, rent, food, and all that and more. About 10 minutes. And at the 10-minute mark, I jump into some holiday decor. But today, we're going offset, and I'm showing you elsewhere on the operations of the show and the holiday tree. Very exciting news. So with that, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because no one's getting you money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now. And I'll have a special message in a few seconds from now about how the spirit of helping people is so important even today. I'll explain to you what I was just doing a minute ago. And also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over what you should expect Monday, what you should be doing today with those fingers, those keyboards, and those Twitter handles. What messaging you should get out. You've already started and you've been doing a great job. But I'll be going over what's happening on Monday with your stimulus check. How the push is to push Manchin and Romney into the corner, push Nancy Pelosi out the door, make them understand that they're on the wrong narrative and their narrative is never going to pass. Manchin has been a hot mess express, and Cassidy out of Louisiana, who was silenced middle of the week, should not speak again about the subject anymore. So we'll be going over those details as well. Then I'll be turning to the holiday tree. As always, let's get ready and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that the messaging on second stimulus check is on point now. Finally, the messaging is on point. It was this morning on Mornings LALATE that I spoke about Kelly Evans, who is the wonderful, delighted, lighthearted midday report anchor on CNBC, who said, second stimulus check is back on. There's actually a new news report with that title on CNBC. And she talked about how Americans are now arguing for a second stimulus check in the CR. I wonder where that came from. It came from this channel. It came from this channel, which started the Twitter campaign for hashtag CR for stimulus, to put stimulus into the CR because no one was giving you stimulus. And then ultimately, the congressional budget bill, aka the CR, has a deadline, has a real deadline, and would force congressional leaders to get this done. Well, what did they do? They just did an extension. But it didn't so pan out that easily for them, because we told them what to do. We said shut stimulus checks or shut down. That was our follow-up Twitter hashtag campaign. Hashtag stimulus checks or shut down. And the messaging hit the Senate floor on Friday. As Bernie Sanders said, you know what, I'll give you a 1-week extension, but after that, I'm shutting you down. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? It should, because Bernie Sanders says, you know what, you keep on taking care of big business, it's time to start taking care of Americans. And then the messaging changed very quickly. The messaging changed to the way you get relief to Americans is a stimulus check. All the messages that I've been saying to the viewers of this channel for the last 6 months came to the Senate floor with, first, the fastest form of relief to be received at any time in the U.S. government is a stimulus check. It lands in your hands about 10 days by electronic receipt, confirms the Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin for months on end, because the IRS already has your information. They can get it to you within 10 days by electronic receipt if you receive your SSI or SSDI benefits electronically, or you pay your taxes electronically, 10 days from when it becomes law. Everything else is like a month, 2 months. That's not stimulus emergency relief. We're talking about relief right now. Now, the other thing that was at issue was that millions of Americans understood that you need relief. You were owed a stimulus check, multiple stimulus checks in the first stimulus package of March. They took them out. You never got April and May. And then in May, they said, we'll take care of you. Well, they didn't, and you've been waiting for months for a stimulus check. In fact, viewers who are adult dependents never got that first stimulus check. So this time around, Bernie Sanders had had enough, and so did Senator Josh Hawley, Missouri Republican, said, you know what, we've had enough. We're writing a bill, a standalone bill for a stimulus check. What was sort of monumental about that bill is that, one, it mirrors exactly what I did on this channel in August, hashtag LALATE write the bill, where I wrote the standalone bill for a stimulus check. But was monumental from a senator doing it was because we were told by Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi, that you should never do a standalone bill. It's piecemeal. In fact, much of what we had heard from Nancy Pelosi over 6 months is now not come to fruition. She said, you can't do a standalone bill. It's piecemeal. We won't do standalone bills. Well, now she's endorsing a proposal by the moderates that has only 3 provisions in it. So she's now piecemealing. She said she would never go less than $600. Now she's going to $300 for FPUC. She said she would never agree to anything less than $900 billion for state and local. Now she's at $300 billion. Imagine how much that, and it's not because of concessions, it's because her ideas were wrong, and they're still wrong. In fact, last week she said she would only support something that has a stimulus check. She's now supporting something that doesn't have a stimulus check. Then she was quoted saying, I will support whatever the President of the United States says on a stimulus check. Well, the President told Josh Hawley that he'll do a $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check, and then Josh wrote the bill. So guess what she did? No comment. No comment. She asked for an extension. The Democrats are not aligned to Nancy Pelosi now, and nor are the Republicans aligned to Mitch McConnell. There's nonpartisanship all across the board as millions of Americans shout loud and clear, stimulus check. And now the hashtag campaign of stimulus check or shutdown has become a national agenda because of this channel, because of my recordings. Shutdown or stimulus check or shutdown is very clear because of the following. 1, stimulus check is owed. It's been owed for months. 2, political leaders have made every excuse in the book not to give you a stimulus check. The senator from Louisiana, Cassidy, last week told every fake narrative he could give you about a stimulus check, said there's no money for it. Well, there's $800 billion of CARES Act 1 that's sitting around for PPP unused that can be repurposed as a $5,000 stimulus check. We're only asking for $1,200 a year. Second, he said this is not a stimulus package, it's a relief package. He's the only one that said that. But what's relief, Cassidy? Bailing out corporate America and not bailing out Americans, or not giving relief to Americans. Where is the relief? The relief is only if you are a Fortune 500 company, but not if you are a family of 5. Then the narrative sort of fell apart. And they fell apart very quickly when Republicans and Democrats both came out in favor of a stimulus check. And then the analysis came. And the analysis that I told you on this channel was the following. The proposals that were put forward last week that called for 3 weeks of FPUC forward from now to late January, 3 weeks, which is $900, which is much of nothing. It's less than a stimulus check. Were suddenly batted against a stimulus check. Okay, $900 of FPC versus a $1,200 stimulus check. Let's do the analysis if it's not obvious already. First of all, you're owed 20 weeks retroactive for FPC, which expired in July. Congressional leaders have done everything wrong in not getting you that money for the last 6 months. Nancy Pelosi was offered $400 a week from Steve Mnuchin over the summer, and she turned it down. It's been 20 weeks, so you would have had 20 weeks at $400 a week. She turned that down. Now she's at 3 weeks forward at $300 a week. Instead of $20,000, she's offering you $900. See, sounds something wrong about that? Yeah. Then the other problem is that Joe Biden says, well, I'm going to take care of you in January. His transition papers as president-elect says, I will give you FPC retroactive back to those 20 weeks at $600 a week. Okay. So why are we going forward over the same period of over the same few weeks, so same 3 weeks? Why are we going forward 3 weeks while Joe is going back over those same 3 weeks? Meantime, millions of viewers think that this is just a political ploy to not give you ever retroactive FPC, to go forward and say, you know what, we gave you some $900, just forget about the 20 weeks. So what viewers have now understood is that FPC should not be batted against a stimulus check. A stimulus check should trump. And I'll explain to you how stimulus check overrides. A stimulus check is tied to your income. It's tied based upon your 2019 income. So a stimulus check is paid to those people who really need relief. Unemployment is not tied to people who need relief. You can be unemployed but made $1 million last year, and you could be sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office and arguing, I want FPC for 3 weeks. I want that $900 really badly. But you could have $1 million of 2019 earnings when you're saying that. Why should you be getting FPC over someone who needs a stimulus check who made $5,000 last year net income? That is why the narrative is off point. And so now millions of Americans now understand that FPC can be taken care of in January. All that needs to be taken care of in an emergency basis now for the next 30 days is the following. Stimulus check, $1,200, all adults, whether you're an adult dependent or a non-adult dependent, $500 for children. 2, eviction moratorium, it's set to expire in December. It cannot. 3, mortgage forbearance, it's expected to expire in late December. It cannot. And finally, PUA and UI, both set to expire. In the case of UI, it's PEUC, in late December. You only need those 4 things. They're very simple. They basically cost almost next to nothing. Stimulus check is $300 billion. PUA and UI for a few weeks is much of nothing. It doesn't cost a lot of money. And eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are free. So this is a very reasonably cheap stimulus package. It fits all narratives of both Republicans and Democrats because Mitch's liability provision, take care of it in January. Nancy's state and local money, take care of it in January. If they haven't gone bankrupt, the states in the last 4 months, they're not going to go bankrupt in the next 3 weeks. If the airlines have not gone belly up in the last 5 months, when they have fortunes of money in the bank, they're not going to go bankrupt in the next 3 weeks. And if the hotels have been operating for the last 4 months, which they have, then they're not going to go bankrupt over the holidays. And to make it something even more obvious, I don't think anyone ever says these things except me. If Mitch is worried about liability insurance, most of the courthouses are closed during Christmas holidays. So no one's going to be suing someone over the Christmas holidays. And if you are, then then you're a Grinch. There we go. So now what I want to send to you is a message is the following. Ultimately, when I talk about state relief, stimulus relief, CARES Act 1 money, utilities, food, and more, it's important to understand that with that comes stress. There is always stress during holidays, and the stress may be you look at your bank account and there's no money in there. Understand one of the following things, which I've not said on this channel, but for the first time today I'm saying as well. With the 14 volunteers that are here to help you find rent, food, utilities, and more, if you have no money in the bank account, if you have $1 in the bank account, you're waiting for that unemployment check to come, it has not come, it's important to understand that there may be stress associated with that. Reach out to the volunteers. They're there to chat. Reach out to fellow viewers. We're all here to chat. We are a nice group of people. There may be too many December birthdays on this channel. If you tuned into Purple Power Live last night, the entire room was December birthdays. There's an astrological imbalance on this viewership of this channel, but I'm just kidding. But other than that, yeah, I just lost all my December viewers right now by saying that. But other than that, we are a nice group of people, and there may be some stress associated with the holidays. And the purpose of this channel is to keep you upbeat, keep you informed, keep you lighthearted. But reach out to us. We're here to chat. It doesn't always have to be about rent and food. It can just be about chatting. And with that, here comes a special treat. After this, I want to show you the holidays tree from the LALATE studios. Over the last few weeks, viewers have asked me, can you show us will you be showing us the Christmas tree from the LALATE studio? Of course I am. I've always said that I would. What I did a few weeks ago was I bought the Christmas tree and brought it to the studio. And in bringing it to the studio, I prepared it accordingly. It is still not finished. In this footage that I'm about to show you, I'm going to show you how it took in bringing this tree from the tree park to the studio. What's important to understand when preparing a tree and buying the right tree at the park is deciding between Noble and Douglas fir. Then when you get the tree to the cache, to the point at which you're about to purchase it, make sure they give you a clean cut at the bottom of the tree so that it newly refreshes the bottom of the tree to get ready to put it into water. Next, the first thing I do is as soon as the tree arrives at its final destination, put it in a big bucket of water, whether it's a dog bowl, an old dog bowl, or a bucket, put it in a bucket of water, and really an enormous amount of water. Fill it all the way at the top. Don't worry if the trunk is a little bit wet. Get a lot of water in that tree. Let it eat up that water. Leave it outside in the cold air overnight so it loves that cold air and that cold water. Because before next destination is in the hot house, before the heater, inside the hot room that has the furnace burning, a few feet away from it. So you want to cool that tree down and get its water and get it replenished. It's been a while since it's been on the ground, and now it needs some refreshing, replenishing. It's thirsty. So then with that, in bringing the tree in, make sure you always have the tree fully secured. There is nothing worse than a tree that collapses inside. I've had it happen. Everyone has had it happen. So make sure you got that tree secure. Finally, when you get the tree up, take your time. Take your time. I always start with the lights. Get the lights in position, and then after you get the lights in position, push them in and then get the ornaments getting ready to go. In this video footage, for the first time ever on the channel, you're going to see the tree coming in position. Again, it's not finished. You're going to see it from the holiday park, the Christmas tree park, to its place on the set in its current unfinished condition. It is still not, it still needs a couple more days of decorating, but I'll show you the final product. And for now, here is the work in progress. So here we are at the tree park, and we're looking at some incredible trees here today. This is the incredible Douglas firs that are 7 to 8 feet in height, and so these 7 and 8 feet height in trees are just gorgeous. Incredible Douglas firs, which I always prefer because it's a more lush tree. They got them about 6 to 8 feet in height, and here you go. These are 7 to 8s, incredibly lush, and you see the dynamic of them. They have an incredible strong odor to them, and they're very, very soft and full firs, which are totally different. You can see the noble firs have a sort of blue hue to them. But what's incredible about these trees is that you can bring this aroma and scent in the home, and the scent will stay there throughout the holiday season. Just really quite gorgeous. Got the tree on top of the car and ready to go.